So yeah. So the stock, this has been like the most exciting week in a very long time for sure. For many reasons. Full disclosure, my father was a stockbroker and a partner at a firm, so I do come from the experience of trading. I know the market more than some people. I get it, but this was a lot of people's first experience with how the market works, and a lot of people are, because as adults, like
same.
A lot of people don't know, and it's fine because a lot of people don't have the need to look into it, I guess, which is fair.
They don't have the means.
Yeah, and they don't have the you do. Everybody has the means. You just don't have the will to.
Well, I'm saying like
put your
money to put into it.
Like
if you don't have
you can get
that
in for
much
$100.
money,
$100, you can get in. But the thing is,
when you're real poor,
when you're real poor, I get it. Yeah,
damn. Ramen.
When you're, dude, Top Ramen's amazing. Are they publicly traded? No, I'm kidding. So no, but yeah, so the market's become a first-time thing for a lot of people in the last week, and I'm happy about that. Like, there's a lot of people that are calling whatever's happening like absurd and stupid and amateur and all that. But the thing that a lot of people don't realize is it's kind of like caviar, where everybody thinks caviar is this fancy, untouchable thing. But when you actually have it, you're like, oh, it's just salty fish. Mm-hmm. It's not really that big of a deal. So that's kind of what the market is, in my opinion. It's like, it feels like this unreachable thing because you don't have the finance, but in reality, it's just a thing that really is just sort of a place where you can trade and sell stock, buy stock, whatever. It's just a thing. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. So the thing that happened with GameStop specifically is, it's funny because, as I said, like a lot of first time people in the market here got introduced to a very complicated side of the market. Yeah. Because this is a complicated situation. Short sells, exactly. So a lot of people don't realize what a short sell is. And so basically it goes two ways. You can either buy stock, and you're banking on the fact that the stock's going to go up in price. So you bought in for a low price and you sell for a high price. That's the idea. But you can short sell, which means you bet against the stock, which means that you technically borrow the stock at the high price, and then when the stock drops, you pay for it at the low price and you keep the difference. Yeah. That's what a short sell is. So basically what it is these hedge funds, which hedge funds are basically just groups of people that are investors that essentially invest your money for you. So essentially it's just like this big club, like, hey, park your money here, we'll make you more money. That's essentially what a hedge fund is. Yeah. So these hedge funds were shorting a lot of stocks, including GameStop. And what happened was these people who ran the analyzations on it found out that they're shorting it, and they're like, hey, let's all just pour our money into here and raise the stock price and make these business hedge funds pay the interest and squeeze them basically. Yeah. So what ended up happening was these hedge funds borrowed the stock at, I think, like $1 or less, like crazy low. So they're banking on the fact that the stock will drop further and they'll keep the difference. They have to pay interest on it, obviously, because they're borrowing the stock. So when the stock price goes up, not only do they have to buy it back at a higher price, so they have to pay more money, but they also have to pay the interest. Mm-hmm. So they're losing billions. So
they bought it for like $1 or less.
They borrowed it.
Right. And then what did it grow to?
It reached, I think the max it reached was like, the high was like $4.50, which is 4 times as much as Apple's stock. That's 4 times the price of Apple stock. Dang. Which is, again, unheard of. Yeah. That's never happened. Legally at least, because there's been like pump and dump schemes that have, that's what the Wolf of Wall Street was. It was pumping these penny stocks up to something and then sell it and watch it crash. Yeah. So it's not that. So that's what's kind of crazy about it. Yeah. It's all legal.
I was watching him talk about it, Jordan Belfort, and he was like,
oh, he talked about it?
Yeah, just recently.
That makes sense.
He was like, it kind of reminds me of what we were doing in a way.
Not really, because he was doing very illegal things. He was pumping stocks that were never going to go anywhere. GameStop is just pumped by people like banding together and just putting money into it instead of them being like, hey, the stock's going to take off, and then having random people, raise the stock price, and then they cash out their shares and watch it plummet. Mm-hmm. We're not, the point of it is they're not selling, they're holding. Right. Because the whole point of it is, it's become the most incredible protest I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. Because what's happening is they're buying all this stock to raise the price. And normally when you do that so when it reaches a peak, you sell and you get a lot of money back. But these idiots, as they call themselves, these gorillas, They actually call themselves retards, which I think is hysterical.
That's fun.
Because everybody calls them that. So they're like, oh, cool, we're retards now.
Right, yeah.
So they adopted
the
that
only people you
term.
can call that, you know.
Yeah, so they
Isn't that
adopted the term. So what they're doing is they're basically, everybody's expecting them to sell and bank out. They're like, nah, we're just going to hold it. And if they hold it, it means that the people who are short in the stock have to pay interest longer. So they have to pay increments of interest. So every week they have to pay.
And I mean,
it's insane, dude.
What's going to keep these people from not holding it? The amount of money they made, right?
Well, they set a goal of $10,000 for a share. Which is
Jesus Christ.
Which is the most insane thing. So to me, what I find insane is
this is more like a fuck you now.
100%,
right?
dude. That's all it is. I mean, obviously, there's people that are doing the day trade thing and making money off it, but
justifiably so.
Of course,
right?
Yeah, let's take these billionaires, whatever.
Yeah.
And the funniest part about it,
if they get to play this game,
oh, dude,
why can't we?
That's exactly what it is.
And the problem is maybe the game.
100%. That's what it is. And because we're seeing, that's actually the best part about what happened last week is we actually got to see real time, like what the problems are and the corruption that's in play. Not to get too political here, but there's a lot of people in the pockets of these billionaires. Tons of people.
Yeah. On both sides.
Both sides. And that's what I found insane was Ted Cruz, AOC, like Bernie, all these people who are usually at each other's throats are like, yeah, this is messed up.
Yeah, well, you can tell which ones aren't in the pockets of the billionaires.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
that's AOC's not.
Of course
like,
not.
She's too young and fresh to this whole thing.
No. She has a Twitch channel. It's great.
Yeah. Got a Twitch channel.
Yeah. It's great. She doesn't need to. She has too much, on her OnlyFans.
Right. Yeah. But like Pelosi and McConnell.
Yeah. Dude, they are,
You know.
Of course. But that's what's really amazing about this. It's not even like a conspiracy anymore. It's like you could just see right in front of you. It's kind of insane, because like the news networks are the biggest thing that's like, uh-oh.
But it's going to be painted in some type of conspiratory manner.
They want to. And I mean, I sound crazy when I talk about it now, but here's the thing.
No.
It's real. And that's what's so insane about it. It's because we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. And